One, two, one.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage President and CEO of the Bowers Museum, Dr. Peter Keller.
Hey, I didn't get a script. Anyway, it is a great pleasure to welcome you all to the Bowers Museum for this wonderful, beautiful day. The press preview for Inside the Walt Disney Archives, 50 Years of Preserving the Magic. And some people who know us well might say, well, why are we doing a Disney exhibit? Well, over the last 30 or so years, we've brought the great cultural treasures of the world here, whether it's the Terracotta Warriors or the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Forbidden City, the list goes on and on. We've done over 60 of them. Well, when you think about it, particularly for those of us here in Southern California, but truly throughout the world, there's no greater cultural icon than Disney. And we're very pleased to be forming this partnership, certainly with the archives, our staff. I think this microphone's got a problem. Our staff and the archive staff will work so well together. I'd just like to point out Becky Klein, the director of the archives, Robert Maxheimer, the head of exhibits, Victoria Gerard, our head of collections and education, and Paul Johnson. They've all done a great job. But there's one woman we call the secret weapon around here who is the best supporter you could possibly have, and that's our board chairman, Ann Shee. Ann, why don't you stand up? She's so subtle. But anyway, it's a great team. And I'd just like to point out, before turning this podium over to Michael Vargo, who's the VP of Corporate Communications for Walt Disney, that our education staff has worked incredibly hard. In my 50 years of museum experience, I've never seen a more dynamic program than what our education department has done. We have a brochure you might pick up. There's 40 different Disney programs over the next 5 months that you can come back for. And last night we had a D23, 500 very enthusiastic people, and I think they'll be back as well. But I'd like to now turn the stage over to Michael Vargo. Michael.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Bowers Museum. What a beautiful day out here. We tried to move the trees to get some shade on everyone, but I think we got what we got. But glorious day. Well, good morning and welcome to Inside the Walt Disney Archives, 50 Years of Preserving the Magic. On behalf of the Walt Disney Company, I'd like to give a huge thank you to Dr. Keller, Victoria, and the entire Bowers Museum team to help bring this exhibit to Southern California. We could not have asked for a better collaboration or a more perfect venue to house this collection. You and your team have gone above and beyond to make this entire experience absolutely magical, so thank you. The exhibit is an exciting opportunity for Disney fans of all ages to view some of the special treasures housed at the Walt Disney Archives, as well as discover what the Archives is and what it does within the Walt Disney Company. So this year, we celebrate 50 years of the Walt Disney Archives. Founded in 1970 by Disney legend Dave Smith, the Archives currently has a dedicated and passionate team of 30 people who have made it their life's work to preserve the history and magic of Disney, from the legacy of its founders to the company's nearly 100 years of beloved storytelling. And not only does the Archives painstakingly preserve treasures from our past, they work every day with our partners around Disney to identify and carefully house soon-to-be iconic props, costumes, set pieces, attraction vehicles, collectibles, and so much more from our theme parks, films, television shows, and products. And as some of you may know, with our recent acquisition from 20th Century, the Archives have grown exponentially, and the group has done a masterful job of blending these diverse archives into one remarkable collection. In fact, you'll even be able to see some of those pieces in the exhibit today. Lastly, the Archives is Disney's historical repository. From correspondence to script notes, from oral histories to personal effects, for decades the Archives has served as a vital resource for historians, filmmakers, and Imagineers. Walt Disney once said, "I love the nostalgic myself. I hope we never lose some of the things of the past." He was likely speaking of Main Street USA's turn-of-the-century charm, but I feel like it holds true for the incredible work and the passionate team at the Walt Disney Archives. We cannot grow and innovate as a company without a true appreciation for where we have been. So one of my favorite items in the exhibit also happens to be the oldest. It's a gold cage automaton bird. This beautiful item dates back to the 1900s, and it's one of the things that inspired Walt to create audio animatronics. It's just one of the 465 assets on display here at the museum. So I want to take a moment to thank the Walt Disney Archives team for their tireless work to preserve the Disney legacy, and for doing such a wonderful job of bringing it to you here today. Speaking of the Archives team, I'd like to bring to the stage the director of the Walt Disney Archives, Becky Klein, who recently celebrated her 30th year with Disney, many of those spent with the Archives. It is through her leadership and dedication that we have been able to continue to expand the Archives and bring spectacular exhibits like this to you. So please welcome to the stage my friend, Becky Klein.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, Michael. I want to give a shout out especially to Michael for all of his support. We could not do anything that we do at the Archives without him. He has been the best boss ever. It's truly been an honor to bring this exhibition here to Santa Ana. I'm having some trouble with my mic here. Can you hear me okay? I'm good? Okay. It's really been an honor to bring the exhibition here to the Bowers Museum. I think it's really appropriate that the first public viewing of this exhibit in the United States is right here in Southern California, right in Walt's backyard. So really excited to be here. I want to tell you a little bit about this exhibit. We founded this exhibit as a special event in Japan in 2018. We had a D23 Expo exhibit and program in Japan, and it was hugely received there. People were very excited to learn what we do at the Walt Disney Archives, and it was so successful there that their team in Japan asked us if they would tour it around the country. And so we began a tour for 19 months that this exhibit went through the country of Japan. We went to 9 different venues there, 9 different cities, and over 500,000 people in Japan saw this exhibit and enjoyed it tremendously. But after 19 months, we thought it was time to bring it home, and we're really excited to start a traveling exhibition program. We've been doing exhibits for years, 14, 15 years now we've been doing exhibits, great and small, and we thought it'd be really great to travel this one around the U.S. And so this is the first stop on this whirlwind tour. We brought it back in January and retooled it a bit for the American audiences, and we're really excited to debut it here in Southern California. I want to give you an overview. I'm going to read these because they're really hard to believe sometimes for me even. We have 465 assets on display from 80 different film and TV titles, and it includes 21 original costumes, 3 production vehicles, 218 original film and TV production props and set pieces, 50 pieces of original art, documents, and posters, 9 vintage merchandise pieces dating back to the 1920s. And of course, I'll be inside the exhibit later today, so if you have questions about anything, any of those 465 assets, we'll be happy to answer them in detail if we can. Some of the archives staff, the exhibits team, are going to be in there as well, so we'll be there to answer all your questions. And speaking about that team, I want to take this opportunity to give a huge shout out to the entire archives exhibition team and the entire archive staff. Every single person on the staff contributed in some way to this program. We have a staff of 30, which is a little bit big for an entertainment archive. For an entertainment archive, people are a little jealous from other archives when they find out how much staff we have. But we have such a huge company, and we cover so much of the company's history that even that seems too small to me most of the time. But all 30 of them contributed to this exhibit and to all of our exhibits. Our researchers help with all the reading and writing and curation of the exhibits. Our collections team obviously does a great deal to conserve and preserve and get ready these assets. And of course, our operations team handles all the details, all the contractual work, everything. So I want to give a huge shout out to Robert Maxheimer and his team who are here, and also to Joanna Pratt, who's standing over there. Wave, Joanna. Joanna is our senior manager of operations and programs, and she does all the stuff that, you know, the negotiating and the contracts and all the stuff that makes it all work, but isn't as much fun. So give her a thanks. And especially we want to thank Dr. Keller and the staff of the Bowers. You know, it's been such a wonderful partnership. I have to admit, I had never been down to this museum, and when Victoria contacted us and said they wanted to do a Disney exhibit, it was absolutely serendipity. Walt used to say that serendipity is a happy accident, and it just happened that they wanted a Disney exhibit, and we had just decided to start a traveling exhibition program, and it worked out so beautifully. And I have to say, I really appreciate all of this, and I now count you as friends as well as co-workers. And so thank you so much to Peter and Victoria, to Anne, to everybody. We've had such a joyous time working with you. So on that note, I want to thank all of you for being here, and happy to answer any questions that you have for me. So Michael, come on back up.
Thank you, Becky. Well, I think it's almost that time that we've all been waiting for, but it really wouldn't be a Disney grand opening without a little Disney magic, now would it? So I'd like to please welcome my friends, Mickey and Minnie Mouse. Come on up. Becky, is it time for our routine now? All right. Well, Mickey and Minnie, we are so glad that you could join us today. Are you excited to see inside the Walt Disney Archives? All right. Well, I would like to include some other special guests to help us with the grand opening, if that's okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the stage the members of the Walt Disney Archives, who worked to bring this beautiful exhibit to life, including our exhibitions manager, Robert Maxheimer. Let's give them a round of applause. The work on this exhibition is truly amazing. You guys have outdone yourselves. So I cannot wait for everyone here to see it and open the doors to the world. It's going to be really stunning. Also, I'd like to include Peter and Victoria from the Bowers Museum. Would you also please join us on stage? And then Vicki and Minnie, let's get everybody up to the ribbon, if we could, a little closer. And Robert, would you do us the honors of doing the official cutting, please? So on behalf of the Walt Disney Company, please welcome to the official grand opening of Inside the Walt Disney Archives, Preserving the Magic.